Hello fellow gardeners and welcome back to Smart Garden. If you've been relying on chemical fertilizers and synthetic pest controls only to watch your soil become depleted and lifeless, you're not alone. Today we're going to change all of that by learning how to make lactic acid bacteria serum, a powerful natural input from Korean natural farming that will transform your garden from the ground up. This simple fermentation process uses nothing more than rice water and milk to create a probiotic powerhouse that feeds your soil, strengthens your plants, and helps keep pests and diseases at bay. The chemical conundrum. Why we need a change. For decades, gardeners have been taught that synthetic fertilizers are the key to abundant harvests. The reality, however, tells a different story. Chemical fertilizers provide a quick fix of nutrients, but they come with hidden costs that accumulate over time. These products bypass the natural soil ecosystem, leading to the gradual degradation of soil structure and the depletion of beneficial microorganisms that plants depend on for long-term health. When we continuously add chemicals to our gardens, we create a dependency cycle where soil becomes less capable of supporting plant life on its own. The environmental impact extends beyond our garden beds too. With fertilizer runoff contaminating waterways and disrupting entire ecosystems, more gardeners are recognizing that sustainable natural solutions aren't just better for the environment, but actually produce healthier, more resilient plants. This is where Korean natural farming and lactic acid bacteria come into the picture. KNF Lab, the secret to thriving soil. Korean natural farming is built on a beautifully simple principle that works with nature rather than against it. Instead of adding synthetic nutrients, KNF focuses on cultivating and multiplying indigenous microorganisms that already exist in your local environment. These beneficial bacteria and fungi form complex relationships with plant roots, breaking down organic matter and making nutrients available in forms that plants can actually absorb and use. Lactic acid bacteria are one of the most important groups of microorganisms in this system. These are the same probiotics you find in yogurt, sauerkraut, and other fermented foods, and they play a crucial role in creating healthy soil and plant surfaces. When you apply Lab to your garden, you're essentially colonizing your plants and soil with beneficial microbes that crowd out harmful bacteria, fungi, and pests before they can establish themselves. The beauty of making your own lab serum is its simplicity. You need only rice, water, and milk to create this potent solution in your own home. Creating your lab serum is actually a two-part process. The process of making lactic acid bacteria serum happens in two distinct fermentation stages, and the entire process takes about 6 to 10 days from start to finish. Begin by rinsing uncooked white rice with non-chlorinated water. If you're using tap water, let it sit uncovered for 24 hours first so the chlorine can dissipate, as chlorine will kill the beneficial microbes you're trying to cultivate. So, you'll want to take your rice and put it in a bowl or a jar, then cover it with about an inch or two of water. Now, agitate it vigorously, really give it a good stir or shake, until the water turns cloudy and kind of milky white. This cloudy water, by the way, is just packed with starches and carbohydrates, and that's exactly what will feed the microorganisms we're looking to grow. Next, go ahead and strain off this rinse water into a clean jar. You'll want to repeat this process one more time so you can collect enough liquid to fill your jar about 2/3 full. After that, cover the jar with a paper towel and secure it with a rubber band. This setup lets air in, but keeps out debris and insects, which is pretty important. Then, just place the jar in a cool, dark spot, somewhere away from direct sunlight, and let it ferment for about 3 to 7 days. During this time, naturally occurring lactic acid bacteria from the air and rice are going to start multiplying in that nutrient-rich water. You'll know it's ready when you notice a slightly sour or maybe a yeasty smell, and you'll see a thin film forming right on top. Also, don't be surprised if the liquid separates into layers, with some sediment settling down at the bottom. What you want is the cloudy middle layer, which contains your indigenous microorganism solution rich in lactic acid bacteria. Now comes the second fermentation stage where the magic really happens. In a clean container, combine 1 part of your fermented rice water with 10 parts cow's milk, filling the container about 2/3 full to allow for expansion. This ratio is important because the milk provides the perfect food source for lactic acid bacteria to multiply rapidly while other microorganisms struggle to survive. Make sure you don't transfer the film from the top of your rice water, as it may contain unwanted mold spores. Cover this new mixture with a breathable cloth or paper towel and let it sit undisturbed for another 3 to 5 days. During this second fermentation, the lactic acid bacteria will proliferate at an extraordinary rate, consuming the lactose in the milk and producing lactic acid as a byproduct. Eventually, the mixture will separate into distinct layers, much like curds and whey. The solid white curds will float on top while the yellowish liquid at the bottom is your finished LAB serum. Carefully separate the two by breaking apart the curds with a slotted spoon and straining the yellow liquid through cheesecloth or a fine mesh strainer into a clean jar. Stop pouring when you see white sediment approaching the edge to ensure you're collecting only the pure golden serum. Your finished LAB serum is highly concentrated and must be diluted before use. The standard dilution rate is 1 to 1,000, which works out to about 3/4 teaspoon per gallon of water. You can apply this diluted solution in several ways depending on your garden's needs. Alright, so as a foliar spray, LAB, or lactic acid bacteria, colonizes the surface of leaves and stems with beneficial bacteria. This creates a kind of protective barrier against harmful pathogens and fungal diseases. The best time to spray is early morning. That's when plants can absorb nutrients through their leaves and dry before evening sets in. You can also use it as a soil drench to boost the microbial population in your soil. This helps improve nutrient cycling and assists in breaking down organic matter more efficiently. Now, for seedlings, pre-soaking seeds in a diluted LAB solution before planting gives them a head start. It inoculates them with beneficial microbes and helps prevent damping off disease. It's a simple step, but it can make a big difference. Established plants benefit from regular applications throughout the growing season, though you should avoid spraying fruiting crops near harvest time, as it can affect fruit sweetness. Store your concentrated LAB serum in the refrigerator with a loosely fitted lid for up to 6 months. Beyond chemicals, the long-term benefits really start to add up. The real power of lactic acid bacteria and Korean natural farming reveals itself over time. With consistent use, you'll notice your soil structure improving, becoming more crumbly and alive with earthworms and beneficial insects. Your plants will develop stronger immune systems, showing increased resistance to pests and diseases without any chemical interventions. The need for external inputs gradually decreases as your soil ecosystem becomes more self-sustaining. This isn't just folklore or gardening mythology. The science behind LAB is solid, backed by research from institutions like the University of Hawaii's College of Tropical Agriculture. Join the soil revolution. Your next steps are honestly pretty simple. Making your own lactic acid bacteria serum costs just pennies compared to commercial products, and the results speak for themselves. You have everything you need to get started right in your kitchen. This simple fermentation technique is your entry point into a whole world of natural farming practices that will revolutionize how you grow food. If you found this guide helpful, please subscribe to Smart Garden for more Korean, natural farming tutorials and sustainable gardening techniques. Share this video with fellow gardeners who are ready to break free from chemical dependency and build truly healthy, living soil. Drop a comment below and let us know your experience with LAB or any questions you have about getting started. Together, we're creating a community of gardeners who understand that the secret to an abundant garden isn't found in a bag of synthetic fertilizer, but in working with the incredible power of beneficial microorganisms. Happy fermenting, and I'll see you in the next video.